MaXXXine, all the spoilers. Let's go. What's up, guys? Welcome to all the spoilers for MaXXXine. I want to start off by saying this, and I did touch on this in the spoiler-free review, but I've already had people messaging me, apologize. So I'm so sorry, man, that you didn't really, that the movie wasn't for you. You don't have to apologize. I like the movie. I had a really good time with the movie. I will be buying the movie when it comes out. It's just that it was my most anticipated movie of the year. Look, guys. If I reach back here and grab this was my favorite movie of 2022. It was everything to me, and I loved Pearl to death. And I was just looking forward to something at this level. My opinion, and I didn't get that. But that's okay, because I also didn't get a complete dumpster fire of a movie either. It still had some greatness about it. Even there was a scene in the first act of the movie. This is a spoiler review, by the way. I have to say that again. But the scene where she steps on the guy's nuts, okay? The entire theater erupted. It was phenomenal. I was jumping for joy. This is MaXXXine. This is who I'm here for. This is every bit the character, and I loved that they had moments like that in the movie. But overall, before I dive into the spoiler type stuff, to me it was really that this movie sort of scratched the surface in terms of, I guess, potential. And what it could have been. And really, I think also this might be the most commercial of the trilogy. And you can take that for what it sounds like. It could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. Even though this did feel like an independent film in the way it was shot and everything, I felt like X especially was more of an independent type film. That's just the way that movie felt. It felt dangerous. You never knew where it was going to turn. And to be fair to this movie, as I was watching it, I felt like that too. Of course, I didn't know where this movie was going to go. It's still a Ty West movie. But after, the bow had been tied at the end of the movie and I walked out of the theater, I was scratching my head a little bit. And I guess we'll get into, let's start off with the final act, because I think that's the big thing that didn't send it home for me. Just because this was taking place in 85 around the time of the Night Stalker murders. If you remember those murders, they were downright grisly, but there was also, it was real. It was really happening. And some of the murders, most of the murders, all the murders were quite disgusting and scary and unpredictable. And I guess in the kills in this movie, and not really just the kills, but just the whole story around the kills and the killer himself. I didn't expect this to be the Night Stalker, but I expected it to be more of like a copycat type killer that is just as dangerous as the Night Stalker. And MaXXXine definitely has her work cut out for her. You should have felt really scared for MaXXXine, and I didn't really feel that. And I think story-wise, because X started off with the preacher at the beginning of that movie, and I believe at the end of the movie you find out that the preacher is her father. I guess story-wise, it does make sense for everything to come full circle and it be the father. And I even if you wanted to go that route, I didn't feel as if it was as dark and sinister as it maybe could have been. It was sort of cartoonish in the final act with the father and everybody in the white sheets and the whole cult-like nature of it. And that's just my opinion. And I think a lot of you guys are going to dig the final act of this movie and how it played out and how it ties in. I guess everything kind of comes full circle. So in a way it makes sense. So it just kind of came down to more of the mood of what I was looking for. I think I wanted this movie to be darker, more sinister, but still have MaXXXine's playful side to her and not feel as superficial as the movie did feel. I think sometimes the nostalgia trip got in the way of the depth of the story and how far it could have went. Now, talking about MaXXXine as a character, I would say Comparing this to X, I preferred her in X over this movie. I think she felt more lively in that movie. Whereas in this movie, the character's doing a ton of cocaine throughout the whole movie, but you would swear that she wasn't because she seemed kind of tired throughout most of the movie. Yeah, Mia Goth, fantastic actress. In that opening scene where, she's doing the heavy lifting acting-wise, showing her chops. This is Mia Goth. This is one of the best actresses working today, I think. But throughout the rest of the movie, I think because you had, showing the Bates Motel in there, having Kevin Bacon playing this sort of off-center type character that was a little bit more silly and cartoony than somebody that seemed very, menacing and deadly. When I compare this to X and even Pearl, I think there was just a very dangerous nature to those two movies, to everything that was going on around those characters in those movies. Story-wise, I think this had the potential to be even darker because of the subject matter, because of the Night Stalker. I don't think we got that. So I know it sounds like I'm shitting all over this movie, but I need to be completely upfront with you guys about the problems that I had. And unfortunately, the problems I had were mostly in the spoiler territory and the final act. And, I don't want you to come out of this review saying, what was it that Lee didn't really like about this movie? I want you to come out saying, okay, I know exactly what he didn't like about the movie. But again, having said that, bringing it back around, okay, guys, still, I had a decent time with the movie. There were a lot of moments that were really fun. The attack on her friend, I thought that was a pretty interesting kill. Felt very giallo in nature. And I liked him as a character. But just overall, in terms of the kills, maybe there were plenty of kills in this movie, but it didn't feel like it. And I think even when you did have kills, there didn't feel like much of a build-up to the kills. They kind of just happened and then they were gone. And I think because of, the nature of the killer and all that, I think I wanted more of a menacing build-up of the kills. And I wanted to see the danger there. I wanted to see the characters really fighting for their lives. You got a little bit of that with her friend that is attacked, with the knife across the face. But that kill was probably the most in terms of a build up. But all of the other kills, they were just pretty abrupt. Some of them were fun, not the kills, but just the violence, because, the scene where Kevin Bacon's character's a thorn in her side and she's had enough and she gets out and then she just, starts wailing on him with the keys. I was like, yes, that's it. That's the MaXXXine I know and love. I wish I would have gotten, more of that. I wish MaXXXine would have taken charge more in this movie, I think, maybe even getting involved in the case and all that. There were opportunities for that with the detectives and whatnot, but they were pretty much in her way, and she said she didn't talk to cops, which is fine, but I just felt frustrated. I think that's what it was. There were a lot of moments in the movie where I was just like, damn. Now, with all this negativity behind me, I will buy this movie. I will happily watch it with the other two movies at least once a year. There's still some fun nostalgic moments in it. I love the soundtrack. You guys know me. If you've been watching my channel for a while, I do come around to movies. And maybe this could happen with this movie. Maybe after a few more watches, it will finally click with me. I'm hoping it does do that. I would even welcome, a director's cut that might go a little bit more in depth with the killer. I don't know if it would really help that much, but I gave the movie a 3.5 out of 5. That's my rating on the movie, and I'm comfortable with that. Not a dumpster fire at all. Oh, I do have to mention Giancarlo Esposito, though, who has been in everything lately. I first saw him in Breaking Bad, and he was a shining spot in the movie. I definitely loved how he had her back and he took care of business. I think he was the most dangerous person in the whole movie. But I'm just going off of stream of consciousness here. I think I've covered everything I want to cover spoiler-wise. Let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to get down there with you and chat with you guys if there's something I missed. I'm sure once I eventually do another DDLive, I'm happy to do maybe some good spoiler talk about this. It's definitely fun to talk about. There was a lot going on in this movie, which was cool. So it's definitely in my head still, which that's a good thing. It didn't leave my head as soon as I left the theater. So yeah, I guess that'll wrap it up for the spoiler review. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of this. I'm sure by the time this video comes out, a lot of you will have seen it. I'm still trying to gauge what the audience's reaction is going to be to this, because I've talked to a few of my friends offline, and most of them seem to love it. There's a couple there that were kind of agreeing with me on a few things. I haven't talked to anybody that flat out hated the movie at all, and that's a good thing. And it might still make my top 10 horror of the year. It should. I think it should. But, you know, I was going into this thinking, what's going to top The First Omen? And it didn't do it. The First Omen's still my favorite horror movie of the year. Fantastic. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on all my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. Become a channel member. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Drumdum out.